So check that out. It's coming up fast. I do have one other announcement, and I seriously contemplated, because we have a big announcement, right? I contemplated waiting until the very end of my message because I felt like it fit better on what I was going to say today if I just slotted it at the end. And Nicole's like, you're going to kill them. They're going to, the whole time, wonder what's going on. There's going to be anticipation, so I won't do that to you. Besides, you wouldn't pay attention. You'd be wondering the whole time what it is we're going to announce. So if you saw my email this week and some social media posts, we do have a huge announcement today. It's so fitting to share it today because it's so cool how God works. If you guys are new today, we've been in a series the last few weeks and in a focus as a church on prayer. We've been in a 21 days of prayer together. In fact, the last 3 weeks we've been doing a series called King's Agenda and just focusing on what it means to pray the will of Jesus. Pray in line with what is it that the King wants to do in and through our midst. He's the Lord. He's the one who calls the shots. How can we pray in as he modeled for us in the Lord's Prayer, the will of God. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we've talked about prayer on Sundays all throughout January, but we've also had a daily devotional guide. Hopefully a lot of you guys, if you haven't yet, today is day 21 in that prayer guide we've been walking through together. If you haven't finished that, you can always catch up and finish it out this week. But it's been cool as a church to focus on intentional prayer together. And so the reason I share all of that is out of the blue, on the first day of our 21 days of prayer, I got an email. And it's kind of reshaping the vision and the next steps of our church. And I'm incredibly excited about it. Literally day one, it was 10 a.m. I got an email, and it blew me away. And it's something we've been in works on for the last couple of weeks and just became official this week. And I now get to announce it on the final day. So the opening day, I got the email. We've been praying through it. Some of us, some of our prayer team and our staff have been praying through it the last couple of weeks. And now today I get to announce what God began on day one of our 21 days of prayer and is now finishing with this announcement today. And the announcement is this, that I got an email from the school district saying that we can move into the brand new elementary that just launched in Harvest, Argyle West Elementary, which we're going to be moving into as a church, hopefully come February 23rd, just a month from now. So Tribes Church is going to be relocating from Hilltop Elementary to Argyle West Elementary in 1 month's time. Here's why this is a really big deal. So first of all, I know there's a ton of you that live in Harvest and call that neighborhood home already, so you're like, cool, I can walk to church. That's what this is about. That's convenient. I'm sure that's awesome for you. And there is a lot of us in that neighborhood, but that's not what this is about. This is not just for Harvest. It's strategic, but it's also spiritual. God is doing some incredible things in and through our community as far as growth goes. And this move is not just for this one neighborhood, but it's for Harvest, it's for Pecan Square, it's for the Ridge, which just broke ground off Robeson Ranch Way. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It's for Robeson Ranch and Canyon Falls and Country Lakes. There's so many neighborhoods in this community, but they're all centered on this main vein that we call 35W. I recently met with a developer who told me that within the next decade, from Texas Motor Speedway to Denton along the 35W corridor, there will be a 100,000 person population boom in our community. 100,000 people. That's North Lake, that's Argyle, that's South Denton, that's North Fort Worth because they own all the land on this side of the Metroplex. I don't know what Fort Worth is doing. They're like buying up everything. But anyway, that's so many communities. But there's going to be a 100,000 person population boom from the Speedway to Denton on current projections. There's a ton of people moving to our area. And this move, it is strategic. Being on the west side of 35W where a ton of the growth is happening will allow us to be in the center of all of that growth. Most of the new neighborhoods that are breaking ground on the west side of the highway. So it allows us to be right in the epicenter of that. It allows us to reach people who, guys, you know the Great Commission. Jesus commanded us as his followers to go to all the nations and proclaim the gospel and baptize people. I don't know if you've recognized, but Jesus is bringing all the nations to North Texas. We now have the opportunity. We still need to engage in foreign missions. We're going to do work in the DR, and one day I hope to take a team to the Philippines and some of our missionary connections there. We need to be engaged in taking the gospel to the ends of the earth. But guys, the ends of the earth are moving to North Texas, and that's a trend that has been going on and will continue for years to come. We have the opportunity to take the message of hope and healing and reconciliation with God through Jesus Christ to the ends of the earth by being anchored in a community that's growing the way that we are. So this isn't about growth. This is about us sharing the gospel with more and more people and being in a position to do that as best as we can on the side of the community where growth is happening. So in 1 month's time, we will be moving to Argyle West Elementary, and I couldn't be more excited. Here's why I'm so excited. My wife and I, when we first moved to this community, our kids started school right here at Hilltop Elementary. They were here often for 7 times a week. They'd be here for setup Saturday, church on Sunday, and then school Monday through Friday. And we knew when we moved to this community that they were building a new school in the Harvest neighborhood, and we started praying even years ago that God would allow us to meet in that school. And when I first asked the school district 9 months ago, it was a quick and fast no. Like, we're not going to let any outside organization rent the school because we didn't build it in such a way that it could be used by outside organizations, like without people moving all around the school. So it's like, oh no, it's a blueprint problem and a board approval thing. So it seemed like it was a dead end, but I kept asking because you guys know I'm persistent. So let some time go by. A couple months later, I asked again, and like, guys, it's not going to change. I'm sorry, no. I think I asked 3 times. There has been times over the last year plus that I have ran around the construction site that Argyle West was being built in and prayed over that building and asked God to move. And it is so overwhelming to see him answer that. Not just in like, you love how God flexes. He doesn't just answer the prayer, but on the first day of our 21 days of prayer, the conversation starts. Oh, Gavin, you guys may be able to move into that school if you'd like to. Let's talk. And on the last day of our 21 days of prayer, I get to share that with all of you guys. So, guys, I couldn't be more excited because it's going to give us a tremendous opportunity to reach people who don't know Jesus. Our mission is to help people find and follow Jesus. And the strategic move from this school, which has been so amazing to us, to another school in this district is all about us helping more and more people find and follow Jesus. So this isn't about Harvest. This is about Ponder and Northlake and Argyle and the surrounding areas and the ease of being accessible within the heart of the communities that are growing fastest. It's going to be incredible, the opportunity that God is putting on our shoulders, and I can't wait to see what he does. So that's the big announcement. You probably also noticed up there some things look different. We've been planning a long time to kind of refresh our logo, and there's some purpose behind it. So starting next week, I'd love to invite you back. We're going to be in a series for the next month called We Are Tribes, which is gearing us up for this move. It's talking about why we've kind of rebranded a little bit and some purpose behind our mission statement. Also, I'm going to share some vision that God's given me on what it means to be the local church and how it is we're called to commit to one another and commit to this community and bringing the hope of Jesus to the community. So come back next week as we talk through. It's not just a logo. There's a lot that God is shifting in our midst right now. I can't wait to share it with you. So that starts next week. So that's the big announcement. Are you guys even excited? It's like... And those of you who it is a little bit further drive, I understand. We have a lot of families that aren't in the Harvest neighborhood. And so we love you. It's only like 5 minutes. And so please join us. And I'm promising you, God is going to give us more and more opportunity to reach people for Jesus because of this move. I'm stepping out in faith. Because here's what I realize in this world. There's 2 things that I think that come at a crux in the midst of our life each and every day, and that's strategy and spirituality, right? Like, this move is strategic. We are taking this step, recognizing that it is strategic to be in the side of town where all of the big home developments are going in, right? That's strategy. That's us thinking and talking and also praying. But I also recognize that it's not just strategy. God is working in the spiritual realm. We don't just physically go and do something. We trust that God, his spirit, is already at work in and through us, that he's going to reap a harvest as a result spiritually of this strategic move that we've made. It's strategic and it's spiritual. With that in mind, I want to read Exodus 17 as we kind of move to the message section of today. Usually I don't do the announcements, so I'm sorry if that's a hard shift.